So is Dolce Gabbana's K a worthy blue shower gel genre of fragrance? I don't know, guys. Let's review this one and find out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, and also be sure to follow my fragrance Instagram page where I've been posting daily fragrance content over there. But today, like I said, we are reviewing K by Dolce Gabbana. This is pretty much Dolce Gabbana's take on the blue genre of fragrances such as like Bleu de Chanel, YSL EDP, Dior Sauvage, and many more, guys. It's a very saturated genre, and it seems like every fragrance house has their blue fragrance, and this is of course Dolce Gabbana's take on that. Now, I'll let you guys know right off the bat, when this fragrance first came out and I was in the mall and I smelled this, I actually loved it, guys, and I got a bottle the same year it released at retail. So yeah, I did enjoy it at the time, and that was a few years ago. So let's see if I still actually enjoy this fragrance today. But before we talk about the fragrance, let's go over some information about K now. So K was launched in 2019, so it has been around for a few years now, and it was sort of late to the game when it comes to blue fragrances as well, because that genre pretty much took off in like the early 2010s, but it was launched in 2019. Now, as far as retail prices go for K, you get a 50 ml bottle for, I believe, $76, or you can get the 100 ml bottle like I have in hand for $98. So it is a little bit cheaper when it comes to designers compared to obviously Dior and Chanel. So it does have that benefit to it at least. So there are two perfumers behind K. The first is Daphne Boogie, which honestly I haven't heard of her, and I don't know any fragrances that she has actually created or that I smelled that she made either. But the other perfumer I do know, and that's Natalie Lorison, which is a phenomenal perfumer, guys. You'll probably know her from one of the best boozy fragrances money can buy, and that is Bentley for Men Intense. So she is also the nose behind K by Dolce Gabbana. So with all that information out of the way, let's go and look at the packaging and presentation you will get with K. So take a look at the box with K. I absolutely love this box. It definitely has a royal vibe to it with the navy and the gold. It just screams royalty, guys, with the K, of course, meaning king with the crown. Nothing on the top. That's all it is in the front. On the bottom, you do have your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was produced. And on the back, just some of your information and ingredients. So yeah, the box looks incredible in my opinion. Now, looking at the bottle, guys, I know this bottle is very controversial, especially in the community. It did get a lot of hate, kind of being just very plain and generic. Now, of course, you do have that king cap on the top, that crown, which is very light. It looks like it would be a little bit heavier, but yeah, it is kind of like plastic and light. Nothing on top of the atomizer. Now, I do like the bottle. It is a little bit generic, especially if you didn't have that cap there. There's just nothing really going on. It kind of looks like a stock, kind of boring bottle. Of course, K with the crown right there, nothing on the back. Then on the bottom, you do have your batch code and information etched into the bottle rather than a sticker, which I do prefer. So yeah, that is the bottle presentation, which honestly, I don't mind that much. In the top, you have juniper berries, citruses, blood orange, and lemon. In the middle, you have pimento, lavender, clary sage, and geranium. And in the base, you have vetiver, cedar, and patchouli. Now, looking at that note breakdown, of course, you're gonna be expecting a citrusy, fruity fragrance. So let's go and spray this one and test out the atomizer with K. All right, not the best atomizer at all, especially compared to its competitors. It's not pressurized and it does shoot a narrow mist, but the fragrance is all that matters, not that. So let's see what we get on the opening of K and remind myself of this fragrance. Right off the bat, guys, if you love the note of juniper berries, which I know many of you guys do, you will absolutely fall in love with this fragrance. It has a burst of a fruity juniper berry, which gives it almost like a softness to the fragrance. Now, alongside that, the other main note that I pick up on is that blood orange. Very dominant on the blood orange, which kind of makes it a little bit tart to my nose from the blood orange, but it also does bring a kind of like a juicy sweetness to the fragrance as well, which I love. Yeah, a bunch of juniper berries in the blood orange. I'm not really getting that much lemon to my nose, at least. Just a ton of blood orange and juniper. It does actually change quite a bit once you get to the middle notes, which honestly the top doesn't last that long, unfortunately, because the top of this fragrance is definitely the best part of the entire composition. But once you get to the middle, that pimento note does come through a ton. It is a very spicy, fruity, citrusy fragrance. Now, of course, you have the clary sage and the lavender, which are two barbershop notes. I'm not really getting that much lavender or clary sage. I am also getting a ton of geranium. Geranium is not one of my favorite notes either, but it is there pretty heavily alongside the pimento, the juniper, and that blood orange, guys. So it is honestly blended pretty good. It's not a natural smelling fragrance at all, guys, but I don't think it deserves the hate that it received. A lot of people said this is just a very lackluster, boring blue fragrance or take on a blue fragrance, and a lot of people bashed it a lot, but for some reason, guys, for me, I actually enjoy this fragrance quite a bit. Would I say it's my favorite blue fragrance? No, not at all. It's not my favorite blue fragrance by any means, but it's also not my least favorite blue fragrance in my collection, at least either. It's right there in the middle. Yeah, just how I can describe it is very soft. Not as far as like the performance where it's weak or anything like that. This has a softness to it, almost like a fluffy softness vibe. And I believe that is obviously coming from that juniper berries. This has got to be the most heavy juniper berry fragrance I've ever smelled as well. I just get a burst of that juniper, guys. It's just so strong. So like I said, if you love juniper, you love spicy fragrances, and you like blood orange, and that sounds good all combined together, you'll definitely love this. Now, let's talk about that base. Now, the base is definitely the most boring part about this fragrance. It just smells like a bunch of other fragrances in the base because you have vetiver, cedarwood, and patchouli, which is known in so many fragrances. That three combo fragrance notes is just used so much in the base of fragrances, and in here it just nothing really surprising, nothing really unique about the base of this. So yeah, not much to talk on about it. It just smells like a lot of other fragrances, but that opening is very good. I just wish it lasted a little bit longer. So for seasons that I think would be best for K is definitely the spring and the summer, just because it's very fruity, very citrusy, and a little bit spicy as well. It just fits those categories the best, and it also comes across very soft, so it doesn't really push off that much in like the colder months. Even though, guys, to let you know this, I did receive this bottle for Christmas, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and this was my scent of the day on that day, and like a snowy day, and it did work pretty good. But if I were to pick a certain season, it's 100% spring and summer. But it honestly could be versatile and a signature worthy scent. But for some reason, just smelling it, because it is so soft, I just don't think it worked the best in the fall and winter. I think there's much better options if you're looking for a fall and winter fragrance. But you can obviously wear this fragrance all year round without a problem, just not the best suited for the colder months. Now for gender, guys, this is definitely a more masculine fragrance, just the way it's composed and the composition and the way it's blended together. It definitely does smell masculine. It does not smell feminine at all, even though it has a softness to it, but that spiciness, the juniper berries, and that woody, earthy vetiver and patchouli cedarwood base, definitely on the masculine side. Now for age groups, honestly, this is definitely a more youthful fragrance. There's nothing masculine, there's nothing more mature about this fragrance at all. I would say the best ages is definitely probably 25 and down. Anywhere from there, like teenagers to 25 will absolutely love this fragrance and be able to pull it off the best. If you're like 30 and up, I don't think you would really like this fragrance because it does come across kind of playful for some reason to me, and just very youthful and modern. So yeah, definitely more on the 25 and lower age group. Also comes across as very casual. Like for me, I usually rock this one if I'm just going to run errands. It's easygoing. It's also very crowd pleasing as well. I've got multiple compliments on this fragrance, but it just fits more of like a t-shirt, like a white t-shirt kind of outfit, or like a hoodie, just kind of lounging around casually. It does not smell like somebody wearing a tuxedo or a suit and tie, nothing like that. Now on the performance of this fragrance, honestly guys, the performance was not bad at all, especially compared to other blue heavy fragrances. I got a solid, for longevity at least, I got a solid 8 hours or so pushing off my skin for a good maybe 3 hours of good projection off of my skin, maybe 6 feet or so. This is also a fragrance that I did not really go nose blind to. I was getting whiffs of this stuff throughout the day very heavily, which is surprising to me because I go nose blind to fragrances quite a bit and just get whiffs here and there just to remind myself that it's still there. But this one, guys, I just pretty much smelled the entire wearing, which was actually a surprise to me because, like I said, I usually go nose blind to most fragrances. So is K actually worthy of the king name? I will tell you this, guys, it's not going to dethrone Creed Aventus, which is definitely the king. That's what it's known for, obviously. But for being a designer, I mean, I don't think it's worthy of the king name. There's nothing that makes this like above all other fragrances by any means. So yeah, not worthy of the king name, but at the end of the day, it is a very pleasant, clean, fruity, citrusy fragrance that is a little bit spicy as well. And I do enjoy it regardless of all the hate that it got, guys. So yeah, I think it is a good fragrance at the end of the day. Not my favorite and not my least favorite. Just right there down the middle, it's a solid blue fragrance. But that's gonna wrap up my review of K by Dolce Gabbana. Let me know down below if you tried this fragrance or actually tried the flanker, the EDP, which did launch, I think, last year as well. I haven't smelled that one, but let me know if you tried either of these two. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch all you guys in the next upload. Take care, everybody.